Talk to me, Goose. Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. And, well, there's a news story here, of course, from about Barack Obama, President Obama, and Michelle Obama writing a letter to the students of Parkland. And in the letter, I'll just read it to you as best I can quickly. We wanted to let you know how inspired we have been by the resilience, resolve, and solidarity that you have all shown in the wake of unspeakable tragedy. Not only have you supported and comforted each other, but you've helped awaken the conscience of the nation and challenged decision makers to make the safety of our children the country's top priority. Throughout our history, young people like you have led the way in making America better. There may be setbacks. You may sometimes feel like progress is too slow in coming, but we have no doubt you are going to make an enormous difference in the days and years to come, and we will be there for you. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. And this was just reported a minute ago, even though this is dated March 10th. So, obviously he drafted that letter a while ago or a couple weeks ago. And, I think there's a lot we don't know. And it's as it relates to Nicholas Cruz's mental health and the treatment he was receiving and his connection, how involved Henderson Behavioral Health was in his mental health treatment. I mean, they were the case managers that came out and saw him. I think in many of the instances he was involved with, as well as the Broward County Sheriff's Office, etc. And I just have all these things that keep popping into my head. Like it seems like we're not, like things are being hidden from us, that they're hiding things from us. I mean, the fact that his brother was Baker acted. When that happened, I really did I had this suspicion that he was being Baker acted because they wanted to know what he knew. Not so much about, the safety, about what they wanted to know, how much he knew about Nicholas Cruz's mental health treatment with Henderson Behavioral Health. And, I was asking the question before about, the grants that have been received, because I talk about this article that I found. It's right there. I mean, he was very proudly speaking about how the community had received $22 million in grants February 1st, 2017. And this is all about mental illness is not a crime and that incarceration is not the issue. These ideas didn't come just directly from me. I had heard some of this stuff on talk radio with Rush Limbaugh, and I happened to pull that up as I saw the article, the letter from President Obama and Michelle Obama. And Rush Limbaugh was basically talking about a different article from 2013 or 2014 at the American Prospect. It's December 4th, 2013, Reversing Broward County's School-to-Prison Pipeline. And it's meant basically schools and communities getting grants based on lowering arrest rates or rearrest rates and lowering the disparity of the greater percentage of African Americans going into the prison system versus or minorities versus non-minorities. And one way that kind of gets achieved is just by lowering the arrest rate or rearrest rate in general. Because if the existing rate has a larger percentage of African Americans or minorities going into the prison, lowering it across the board is going to lower that. Okay, and what happens is school systems, communities. They end up gaming the system, and in order to get grant money, they kind of just look the other way on some of the crimes, so that the arrest rates are down, so that they get the grant. And the question I was having was, was something like that going on with the mental health institutions that were getting grants, from the Department of Children and Families, the Florida Department of Children and Families, as he was talking about in this article. It says recently the community received a massive boost to the tune of nearly $22 million grant from the Florida Department of Children and Families to establish a comprehensive system of behavioral health care via a new, specialized, centralized receiving facility in partnership with Henderson Behavioral Health, which is the institution that had, I think, been involved in most of the incidents with Nicholas Cruz. And this is all about incarceration is the least effective solution, and that mental illness is not a crime. It's the same concept. So, and now the brother who was arrested for trespassing because he was warned by school officials not to come on school grounds, and had his bond raised from $25 up to $500,000, and they wanted $750,000. Now he's effectively a permanent prisoner until his next court date. And I just can't help but ask myself, I mean, is he being held there so that they can supervise him, and he, that he's under the close supervision of the Broward County Sheriff's Department because they're worried about what he may know, as it relates to, Nicholas Cruz. And, I wonder if upon the mother's death that Henderson Behavioral Health lost track of Nicholas Cruz. And because the mother had been the primary contact, maybe even, I don't know. I mean, they have various current studies going on at Henderson Behavioral Health that are receiving grants. I mean, is it possible that Nicholas Cruz was one of these studies and that his mother basically had signed something that, to participate in this, and that she was the actual, the contact person for this ongoing thing? And I have no idea. I'm just asking the question. Am I even allowed to ask that question? I think that's a fair question, right? And it could be no. The answer is no. But fine. I mean, but we can at least ask, And but when she died, then they just lost track of Nicholas Cruz, even if it was just for months to up to a year. I don't know. So, but it is peculiar. It just strikes me that I have all these suspicions, and then these things keep happening that sort of kind of confirm my suspicions. And then you see Obama penning a letter, to the students of, and obviously he's very pro-gun control. He's about as liberal as they come. So it's, it's not like that he would do that. But still, a lot of these programs are holdovers from his administration of, incentivizing certain ideas with grants, lowering arrest rates, and would Baker Act requests basically fall in that same kind of parameter of, lowering the number of Baker Act requests in order to receive a grant. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel, this Charlton channel, and give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.